Thank you. It's an absolutely joy to witness the transformation and what the contribution of each of you have had to turn this place into the most beautiful place to enjoy and play our football game. This is the soul of this football club, and each of you contribute to that. So make sure every time you step in this stadium, you face the responsibility now to keep it at these standards, because it makes such a difference for us and for all these players. I want to thank you all. I want to see you soon in Selhurst Park, and for sure in Budapest as well. But before I leave you, please, to the protagonists, to this amazing group of players and staff that they have put so much work into it, a big round of applause, please.
Was it all about just getting the job done, Patrick?
It was just about winning the games, taking the 3 points. It was a job done today. When you reach to that period of the season and you are so close, what is really important is to win. It doesn't matter how you win it. And I think today they did it with the set pieces. That is the mark of the season. And congratulations to them, because it wasn't an easy game, but they managed to perform and to take those 3 points. That is only matters tonight.
But, and there has to be a but, what about that second half performance? There was the anxiety creeping in. We were talking before the game about goal difference, the possibility of winning 4 or 5. What happened to that?
Yeah, but on his post-match, Arteta talked about it doesn't matter if we score 3-4 goals. What we want first step is to win the game. And they managed to win the game. They managed to take the 3 points. Everything is on their hands now. So the last game at Palace, they need to do the job to win the title. But today was about taking the 3 points, and they did it.
For the 8th time this season, Jamie, it's been 1-0 to the Arsenal for the 3rd time in the last 4 games as well. In some ways, does that tonight sum up what we've seen from Arsenal this season?
Yes, I mean, we've said for so long, if Mikel Arteta's team win the Premier League, they're going to do it in the fashion of George Graham rather than Arsene Wenger. And that probably sums them up in terms of 1-0 to the Arsenal. And how often have we said which players will win them the league? It'll be the goalkeeper, it'll be the 2 centre-backs, and it'll be Declan Rice. And they were also the 4 players that the Arsenal fans on the Finalysis app chose as the 4 best players this season.
Yeah, their most significant performers, and a 19th clean sheet of the season for David Raya. He knows they are now just 1 win away, and I'm sure, as you said, Patrick, that is a scenario that he would have taken at the start of the night.
Yes, of course, he knew that will be a difficult games. Even Burnley, the season was over, but you have to give them a credit, because I think they played the game quite seriously. But from Arsenal, it was a really good first half with a lot of tempo, created a lot of chances. But in the second half, obviously, the tempo dropped. But they managed the game quite really well in the second half. They showed a lot of experience. They didn't concede chances. And I would say that was a good, really team performance.
And what impact do you think this will have on Manchester City, who'll be watching this at home tonight?
When you are a City side, you always thought or think that they will drop something. A little bit of luck from Burnley to equalize at the end. But that result can hurt them, because it's still just 2 games to go for them, and 1 from Arsenal now. So I think they may going to go to the game tomorrow feeling a little bit disappointed of the result of Arsenal today.
But that does eliminate the goal difference theory as well, Jamie, in effect, because 1-0 means that a draw is not going to be enough if Manchester City win their final 2 games.
I think in some ways, I think Manchester City would probably have taken that before the game. In that, listen, they'd love Burnley to get a result. My point being is, what are the chances of Burnley getting a result? You know, you're expecting probably 4 or 5 goals. So if you'd have said to Man City before the game, you'll be ahead on goal difference. And if we win our 2 games, you've got to hope Palace get a draw. You know, because the goal difference could have maybe been taken out of the equation tonight for Manchester City. And we felt that, didn't we, a few weeks ago when Man City went to Burnley, we felt that, that was an opportunity missed there to try and really improve the goal difference. So, yeah, hopefully it'll go to the last day. Obviously, we know Man City got a really tough game tomorrow. But if it does, that will be a really long week for Arsenal supporters.
1 goal was enough for Arsenal tonight. Was it fitting, Patrick, that it was a set piece in this season of all seasons?
I think we are not surprised that Arsenal scored on the set pieces because through the season they've been quite really dangerous. Here we consider the quality of the delivery of Saka, but the desire to compete from Havertz and being by himself, not man-marking, allowed him to get in the 6-yard box and then just to score the goals.
It's a fantastic leap, wasn't it, Patrick? Fantastic leap.
Oh, it is unbelievable. The timing, and you can see how higher he's been jumping here. And he's a strong guy in the air, Havertz. He's scored a couple of goals in the air already. So that is just showing his desire to compete, to jump, and to score that important goal for Arsenal.
He was also involved in an incident in the second half, and it feels like a lot of fans of other clubs are talking about this incident that we're about to see now. So he goes in high, and he gets a booking for it. Jamie, what's your take on this? Because VAR did have a look, and there was a question about the amount of force used in this as to justify whether it should have been a red card or not. What's your take?
He's very lucky. I think the fact that the referee's got such a good view and gives a yellow card means it's maybe difficult for VAR maybe to go against it.
Full speed gives us the idea of the force.
Yeah, I mean, how the referee hasn't given a red card straight away, I do not know. He can't have a better view. I mean, it has to be a red card. It should be. And the idea will be the force. That will be the one thing that saved him, I would say.
Is there enough force, do you think, for an overturn, effectively? Patrick, I'll come to you in a second. Not sure?
I just struggle to see how you can get away with that, with how high it up is on the calf. It always looks worse in slow motion, or you see a still on social media.
Or you can see a freeze with the studs high up on the back of the calf. Patrick, the question of force. We'll show it you again, to be fair to you.
I think it is a tackle, a challenge from behind. And you can see the stats on here. I think that was the right decision from the referee, honestly. I don't think there was enough force for the red card. I think if he didn't went to see it on the VAR, I think the yellow card for me was a fair decision.
And the question then is what the impact on the game would have been, because that was minute 68, so there'd be 22 minutes plus the stoppage time. How might that have changed things, do you think?
Well, Burnley did do well second half. They were coming into the game, it was a little bit nervous towards the end, you think, with the man down. And it's not just the man down, it's missing Havertz for the Crystal Palace game. And when you think of Arsenal, and we did the big thing last week on the decision, for me, it wasn't that contentious. You know, the Raya and holding his hand down. We analysed it on here and felt it wasn't Arsenal had got away with one. It was the right decision. But when you think of 2 big decisions that have gone Arsenal's way in terms of red cards in these last few weeks, you think of the Gabriel head into if Haaland goes down, it's a red card. And that tonight, they're lucky to get away with 2 big decisions. You maybe think you might get away with 1, but they've got away with 2. So you need a bit of luck in the biggest things.
Is that right, Patrick? Do you need some fortune?
Yes, of course. But I think if you're going through all the incident from the first game of the season, you're looking at the balance. I think it's fair to say both teams, so the top teams will be the same kind of treatment, I will say. It's difficult to
tonight, hasn't it?
No, what I mean is that you can't just pick up a situation and say this team or that team has more advantage. You have to look at all the incidents from the first game of the season. When you look at here, even if Havertz was signing off, I don't think Burnley had enough to really create chances to get back into the game. I believe that was the right decision from the referee.
A tight call.
Declan, well done. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Just tell us, how hard, how nerve-wracking at times is it fighting for 3 points when there's so much at stake? Yeah, it's a lot. If only the people knew what goes through a footballer's mind in 90 minutes. First half, amazing football, really free-flowing, really good chances. Unlucky not to be 2 or 3. And second half, you know, the nature of the game maybe sometimes drops you back. We wanted to keep pushing forward, but fair play to Burnley. Since this interim manager's come in, we've been watching them a lot. They changed the way they play. They're really trying to play, and they didn't really cause us a problem, but there was a bit of nervousness, you could sense it, just because it's our last home game. We know what's at stake. But one more to go now. We know what we're fighting for, this group, this manager, this club. We really want it, so let's keep pushing.
What does go through a footballer's mind in a 90 minutes like that then?
Every sort of roller coaster emotion you can imagine. You know, it's a 90-minute match. There's no easy game in the Premier League. I think, honestly, this is the most competitive Premier League I've ever played. Every team has quality players. So, yeah, it was tough, but to end on a high, our last home game is really special.
Is that another reminder, and you've had it all seen, just how hard it is actually to win 3 points in the Premier League, let alone a title?
Yeah, to get 3 points now is really tough, because like I said, every team has quality. But the most important thing tonight is 3 points. I think we better get out of the way, because they're forming a circle here.
I better give you... It's for you, Declan, I'm
Thank
sure.
you.
Shall I give you the player of the match then?
Thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Top man.
Martin, how influential again was Declan Rice tonight?
Oh, this guy's immense. I think he's got 2 engines. The amount of distance that he covers in that midfield, he's now playing slightly deeper. He can play as the 6, he can play as the 8. He's the way that he's developed. Free kicks from edge of the box, everything, corners. He just goes from strength to strength, and he's there when the danger, he just sniffs out. He's there, that extra comfort blanket in and around that defence. But he's going to have to do it all again at the weekend. He needs to rest.
Maybe not.
Well, you keep saying that, but I just feel that you have to prepare for the worst, really. Worst case scenario is that it goes to another game. It'd be great to think that you could sit at home tomorrow night and celebrate, and it'd be the most amazing opening for Arsenal. And if Arsenal can win this first one, you then feel that they can achieve anything, because the door could open for this group. They've just been denied so many times. But let's enjoy tonight's result, look forward to the weekend and see what City are made of tomorrow.
I mean, we're going to watch that in here tomorrow night. I mean, that win or bust now for Manchester City, but they've been in that situation many times under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, they know exactly what they've got to do. I tell you what, if they win themselves tomorrow, then it's going to put an awful lot... Declan Rice just spoke about the things that go through their head in 90 minutes. Will it be twice as much in terms of roller coasters against Crystal Palace? That will be even more pressure than it was tonight. They handled the pressure in terms of they stayed strong. They didn't give chances away, but they weren't free-flowing. They weren't tearing Burnley apart. I didn't think they should have been 2 or 3 goals up at half-time, like Declan said. But they certainly did enough to win. But that pressure down the last day, funny things happen on the last day. The Premier League's got a history of seeing that. And there may be just a couple of twists and turns still to come. But City have got to do their job tomorrow first.
They have, and we have to point out the other slight subplot which is emerging tonight. Reports, not confirmed by Manchester City, we're hastening to add, reports that it is going to be the last 2 games of Pep Guardiola's tenure at Manchester City, and he won't be there next season, as if this week and this title race needed spicing up any more.
Well, yeah, I mean, and once stories like that start to leak, it'd be interesting to see what Manchester City do about it. If that is confirmed in the next day or 2 or whatever it might be, then yeah, it would spice it up just a little bit. I'm sure Manchester City, their players, will want to go out with a bang. They obviously can't do much about it now in terms of Arsenal's result, but they can do something about their own results.
He hasn't actually, has he, in the press, until obviously now, if that's the truth, tried to actually refute those suggestions that he was going to be going. And I wondered if it was creating an energy, because the players certainly weren't suffering from it. Quite often you see the reverse when a manager knows he's going. I think they'll try and finish the job off, and they'll give him a massive send-off, and there'll be an even bigger effort from the City players. I think it's so close to the end. That's what he'll be demanding. That's what he'll be looking for. And I just feel that plays into the hands of the players getting the 2 victories that they deserve. So Arsenal have to plan to go and do it. No one's going to hand it to you. You've got to love it. You can't fear these situations. You have to embrace it. I thought it was a difficult night for Arsenal, but they found a way to win. They need to do the same again. It starts all over again for Arsenal at the weekend.
And let's look at the way they found to win it, from a corner. Again, 18th time they've scored from a corner this season. And this was a pretty straightforward one, really.
Well, there were 2 short corners before this, and with aplomb they score. You think, well, why didn't they just do that the first time? You know, poor. They just look like mannequins, these Burnley defenders. They didn't look at the manual, did they, for defending? They've improved tonight with the ball at times. They never really threatened. But this is really, I'd be really disappointed if I was a manager or a coach that my team conceded in that manner. On a post header, Havertz, look, he gets up fantastically well, but he was allowed to run from the 6-yard box onto that, and it's been the difference between the 2 teams.
We've seen so many set-piece goals for Arsenal this year, and some real clever ones, a lot of blocking, some short corners in recent weeks, and then we see the most basic of all corners from the season. It wasn't even, I mean, the ball was fine, it was into a lovely area, but it was chipped, it was slow, it was like Burnley players got loads of time to pick the flight of this one and go and head it, but as simple as it gets for Arsenal, and you know, their set pieces have gone a long way to winning them the league this season if they go and do it.
Kai Havertz, the match winner. What did you think in the second half? He got a yellow card. Could this have been a different colour, do you feel?
I thought it was probably the right decision to not give a red card. I mean, he's not that type of player in general, is he? But you know, we have seen them give him. I think it's more he tries to trip more than anything, and he gets his studs snarled up on his
angles
quite high. Yeah.
I don't think there's the velocity in that.
Exactly.
Though,
that's the only thing that saves him. I think it's more of a glance in as opposed to a straight leg breaker. Where he catches him was quite high, but do you know what? It's one of those when we see the next day in the newspaper, freeze frame, studs, high up, you'll think, oh my word, how has that not been a red? But
if you've not seen it in real time.
When you see it in real time, I don't think there's the huge force to give.
He's not going quick enough. I think there's not enough velocity in that for it to say, right, OK, the referee's got it wrong, let's send him off. But he's quite lucky, though. You could have seen in another situation where he'd have gone there, and you wouldn't have, it'd been difficult to have argued with it. So Arsenal really maybe got away with one there.
But you keep saying you need just things to go your way, don't you, at important times?
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to the weekend. I'm already picking my team for the weekend. I want to get back to that rhythm, the connections. You've got to keep playing. The team that develops and thinks about developing their play wins the game. You don't think about the result. You don't hope to win. You go and win. And there was a little bit tonight about Arsenal hoping to get over the line. So I think that they'd have learned a lot tonight from that performance and the situation they find themselves in. It is tough to get this done, and there are 22 years of history on the shoulders of these players, but they've just got to go and enjoy it for a moment, you know. And an early goal would have been easy, wouldn't it? There was a Trossard hit the post. There could have been a penalty. It just was difficult for Arsenal tonight, but the 3 points will give them a lot of confidence.
Martin, that first nearly 40 minutes a reminder, not that you needed it, I'm sure, that no one gives you titles, no one gives you games.
Yeah, we knew that. The Premier League is always tough, no matter who you play. But yeah, I thought we played well. I thought we started strong, had a few good chances there to score, and just a matter of time before we went in. So yeah, happy did it in the end, and just keep going, go for the second one now.
Yeah, how important is it to stay patient? And the crowd really stuck with you, but how difficult actually is it to stay patient in that scenario?
No, it's okay. We stay focused always. It's just head in the game, you know. So yeah, that's normal for us, and we do like we always do, and we got the goal in the end, so it was good.
As many goals as possible now?
Yeah, for sure. We have to go for the second one, and then yeah, just keep going, keep the clean sheet, and get some more goals.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, bye.
He's the man, of course, that Arsenal supporters are dreaming of lifting that Premier League trophy on Sunday. No surprise, Martin, the goal came from a corner, but they did mix it up with a couple of short ones first, before the goal.
They did. We were just talking off air. I think it was 6 corners, and 5 of them were short ones. And there's these early ones. I know they scored against Newcastle on the 3rd corner. It just was maybe just a little bit overly intricate for me. That one was a finish with a shot on goal. This one didn't quite work out. Mosquera now on that right-hand side, he hasn't been quite as effective. You would expect that, Ben White not being available. And really you'd expect to see this ball come in to the box. And because that was intricate, I think the fans got at them a little bit, Michael. And then this one, look, what a wonderful header that is.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to change it up, aren't they? We mentioned the 3 corners. They scored on the 3rd, short corners against Newcastle. They scored on that 3rd one. And this is their 3rd one of the game as well today. And it's very, very simple. everybody marking space from a Burnley point of view. It's zonal, and Havertz has got all that space. Look, 8 players, including the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box. And when the ball comes in, Havertz gets an uninterrupted. The only players on the penalty box, really, that's getting blocked. Everybody else is getting a free run at it. But Havertz just strolls in. And all those intricate corners that they've done all year, and then the short corners they've done in recent times, this is the most basic of them all. There's no blocking, there's no nothing. He chips it into the 6-yard box. Havertz gets really high, you know, gets all the momentum of a free run. And all of a sudden, that's
the short corners seem to hypnotise them, and there's nobody picking up. And I mean, obviously, that is a really poor goal to concede, but a very important goal for Arsenal if they're going to be Premier League champions.
Absolutely, and a record goal, 18 from corners, the most in any Premier League season. Before then, could Arsenal have had a penalty?
Well, we've looked at it a number of times, and what concerns me is that Saka is through on goal here, and you look at it and something untoward must have happened, because he's the wrong side of the defender's the wrong side of the forward, and I think he puts a foot out for Saka to kick against, and that's, look, out comes the foot there and he kicks against it. He's got nowhere near the ball there, so for me that's a foul.
Michael?
Yeah, I think Matt Upson in commentary got it right. It was never going to change. No matter what the decision on field, it was never going to change, because some people will look at that and say yes, and some people will say no. I'm in the camp that says probably yes. I think it probably was a penalty. The defender never got the ball at all, and prevented Saka from having a free shot at goal. So I think it just was a penalty.
OK, let's ask the Arsenal legend Aaron Ramsey at the Emirates, part of our team tonight. What did you think at the time, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Saka got the wrong side of the guy there, so it looked like it was, it was a clean effort on goal. But then, the defender there did stick out a leg, so on his backswing then, kicking the back of his Achilles, it looked like a penalty. So for me, from the one angle, it looks quite clear. You look like he kicks the back of his ankle. So I don't know why VAR haven't had a look at that, or the referee hasn't had a look at that come across the screen, because you'd expect Saka just to slip that into the back of the net there.
However, they remain patient, they remain calm, and as we were just saying, no real surprise that the goal came from a corner, given the way it's gone this season.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's been a massive asset of the team this year, and is proven again to be vital, part of their game. So, this game has been a bit, edgy at times. They've been quite stubborn in their low block, but Arsenal have been a bit patient. And they responded well to that penalty, being not being given. So they went up the other end then, created another opportunity and had another corner. So for me, yeah, it's just about being patient, keep trying to, probe the ball in between the lines and getting players running in behind. But now they got that goal, I think everybody could settle and we can really get after it now in the second half.
Indeed. Thank you very much indeed for now, Aaron. We'll speak to you after the game. Arsenal halfway there.
Reflecting on the 1-0 half-time advantage, Patrick Vieira, former Arsenal invincible captain, is with us as well. Sometimes it's the intricacy of a set piece that is the magic behind it. Sometimes it's about sticking in the mixer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And listen, Kai Havertz, talk about why he's sort of playing. Gyökeres has been in great form, but his leap is absolutely fantastic. But it shows the impact of Gabriel. We highlight Havertz here, but look, 2 players at Burnley. They think Gabriel's that important. They have to need 2 players to stop him. Leaves him free. You talk about players in a zonal position, Patrick, up against the guy with the run.
Yeah, you can see 6 players of Burnley lining in front of the goal. But of course, Havertz wasn't marking. So it's quite really difficult when you're marking at somebody who's running at you.
Look at this, sorry, Patrick, that is his foot. That is how far off the ground he is.
Yes, he's coming running, and you can see the Burnley who are quite really standing on their feet. And of course, when you're running, you're jumping higher. And then Havertz showed the quality, aggressive and technical ability to hit the target and to score that goal.
It's Ronaldo-like when you think of him in sort of that Manchester United kit or Real Madrid. Just that little bit of run. The leap is fantastic.
Perfect delivery as well.
But listen, that's all you'd expect from Saka. Now, you're surprised if he puts a bad one in, but that leap is absolutely fantastic. I said, it reminded me of Cristiano Ronaldo all those years ago, and vital goal, he needed it. It was starting to get a little bit nervous, wasn't it?
Pressure released. It did feel like the goal was coming, though. They were ramping things up. They had the big penalty shout, which got turned down, and Kai Havertz was the man to score his first headed goal since